Hey everyone, this is Luke again, and welcome back to yet another Ninjago video onto the channel today. So, if you remember a few days ago, about a week ago, I think, actually, Tommy made a tweet about, the whole thing about being a conclusion, which I made, this Monday, I'm pretty sure, past Monday. And I basically said that, uh, you know, there were a lot of theories about it, and one of the theories is that Ninjago is going to get a full-on reboot. Like, everything has changed. Like, the previous canon doesn't really matter anymore, and we may get an all-new cast with maybe some returning members of the previous cast. Maybe not as main characters, but as side characters. And a lot of people were really hesitant on that idea because they don't want to see the previous canon essentially getting wiped. But I feel like they don't quite understand this. And I'm going to be explaining why in this video, why I'm actually in support of a full-on reboot to the Ninjago franchise. Now, as you know, this Ninjago has gone through a lot of change as of late. We had suit changes, music changes, and some very notable changes, including the design change and animation studio change, and even a format change. But I feel like now's the time to make the biggest change. This would be arguably, probably, you can't even argue, the biggest change Ninjago has ever come, and that is just a full-on reboot. Now, Ninjago has surpassed the level of, the theme as a whole, the Ninjago theme, is not going to die. We all know that. The show, though, that's where it gets a little messy. Because I think that it's time for Ninjago to get a new show, basically. I think it's time. Because I don't really think you could do all that much with the current canon anymore. Especially considering it's kind of bonkers. Has a lot of bonkers logic. And the thing with writing the characters is, I don't know if there's that much she could really do with any of these 6 characters anymore. Which brings up my next point. I'm tired of the ninja that we have now. I'm tired of them. Don't get me wrong, I still like them, always will. But at the same time, I want to see something different, I want to see a different team, Maybe with help of some, original the original masters. In my mind, Lloyd, Cole, and Zane stay as masters, while Kai, Jay, and if Nia comes back, Nia kind of go off on their own, because they're all related, and Jay and Nia would be married and potentially have children, and Kai would be kind of like the cool uncle. But anyways, and they would essentially retire from being the masters of Spinjitzu. Therefore, in Ninjago's logic, they would pass on their powers of lightning, water, and even fire to an extent to their children, if Kai has children, anyway. Whereas with Zane, Lloyd, and Cole, they will teach the new elemental masters. They could even bring in some new elements. They could even bring in the elemental masters. They might have children, and they may not be they'll be like, "Mommy or Daddy, where can I train?" And then they just be like, "Oh, I know, I have some friends that would do a great job with training you," and then they just give them the ninja slip and, to harness their power. So, let's say the child of the Master of Speed, Griffin Turner, or the child of Tox, or something like that, would come to train under them. I feel like it's stuck to its main, original entities. I don't know how to describe it. The original lineup of the ninja for far too long, and I think it's time for a new lineup of ninja. Maybe with, some returning characters. Obviously, Wu probably won't return because he's probably going to be dead at this point, unless he's somehow immortal, which I doubt. And the same thing with Garmadon as well, if Garmadon comes back anyway. So Garmadon would be dead as well. Sorry, Garmadon fans. So it would just be them. Cole, Zane, and Lloyd. The reason why I chose these three is because of their purposes. Lloyd, obviously, being the Green Ninja, the chosen one, he kind of has to. Cole, because of the mantra Cole's mother gave to him, protect the now, stand up to those who are cruel and unjust, and similarly, Zane, protect those who can't protect themselves. So I feel like with those purposes in mind, they would be perfect senseis or masters because they dropped the word sensei. Whereas with Kai, Jay, and Nia, I don't know. And that's, another issue I've had with the original lineup. There's really not much you could do with their characters anymore. I mean, maybe make Kai die if the rumors are true. If you make Kai die, if Nia doesn't come back, then Jay is alone. Maybe found someone else. If Nia does come back, they'll just probably be married. Whereas with Lloyd, you really can't do much with him without resulting in somewhat the same storyline. You know what I mean? Because that's a big criticism of Lloyd that's been going on for years, is that he constantly gets the same story, just slightly tweaked. Because it's very repetitive. Cole has actually improved, so maybe you could work some things with Cole. But again, he isn't really a character that needs it. You know what I mean? He doesn't really need development in order to actually be a good character, which is kind of strange if I'm being honest, but it works. And as with Zane, just make him the old Zane again, because a lot of people have been wanting to see the old Zane come back, where he was weird, but it made sense to be weird. You know what I mean? Where he felt like an actual person rather than just the robot of the team. So I just think they've reached the apex of where they could go with where the characters can go. So that's why I think it also should be a new lineup. And going back to what I originally said in the first part, a lot of people are worried about the current canon being wiped. These people must not know about different iterations of the same lineup. You know how like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles has multiple series that each follow a different canon, but like it has still the same main idea. It's just the main idea is a little different for each series. So like you had the 1980s series, the 1990 series, the early 2000 series, the 2012 series, and now the 2018-2019 series. It has the same premise, but the ideas and the execution of those ideas are different. That's what makes them stand out. I think people are worrying a little too much about this. I believe Ninjago can work without some of these ninja, as I've mentioned multiple times before on this channel. And I believe the same premise is there with the one I explained. It's just going to be different characters, maybe a different canon. It's not like the old canon just doesn't exist anymore. Maybe you can put some aspects of the old canon into the new canon, but maybe not like a full-on hard reboot, but kind of like a hybrid between a soft reboot where it only changes a little bit, with a hard reboot where it just changes everything. I think it should change some things, but keep the same canon, so that it'll just have like a fresh new coat of paint to work with. It's essentially starting from scratch, but not necessarily starting from scratch, but like, you know what I mean. The ideas are going to be completely different because of these new characters. So that's why I'm actually in support of a new reboot, simply because I just think there is time to be a new reboot. And if are they going to return to the Ninjago subtitle though? Because remember, we had Ninjago Masters and Spinjitzu, then just Ninjago for some reason, which I don't really know why it's just Ninjago now. And then you could just have, I can understand the subtitle drop, but I think it needs another subtitle. It could be like Ninjago The Next Generation or Ninjago Future or something like that. You probably already got what references or something like that. That's the really the only two names I could think of at this precise moment. So yeah, do you think that a full-on reboot to Ninjago is a good idea? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you do think it is a good idea, what would you do in this new reboot? Let me know in the comments down below. But anyways, I hope you guys like this video. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel by clicking the red subscribe button, and click on the notification bell to see every video that I will upload. And I'll see all you folks in the next video. Bye bye!